This video is going to be covering a very important topic, a essential exotic class item role guide, as you have now around 24 hours to spend your candy at Ava Levante, which you can get two class item roles for 2,500 candy. You can also get the exotic class items at Zer, Pale Heart, Overthrow, Duo Destiny and all that stuff. But this is a very good time right now to discuss essential exotic class item roles. Now, I don't know if Bungie is going to watch this or see it, I doubt it, but as a little bit of feedback, there are currently in the game 64 randomly rolled exotic class items on each class. That equates to 192 different exotic class item roles. We do not have the vault space for this. I'm calling to arms, I'm saying that exotic class items need to be craftable in 2026 and we need to revert this because it is really just madness at this point, and the exotic class items have been out long enough to justify them being craftable at the glaive. They certainly are. Right, I know we're going to get vault extension at Renegades and there's going to be some filtering tools and stuff, but that's not going to be justified for these class items. If we were to be able to craft class items, it would alleviate vault space tenfold. It would not be nearly as much of an issue as it is, and also ergo sum is a culprit for that as well. Basically, all the final shape items are the issues for vault space. Whilst final shape was great, it did encumber your vaults massively, and still does to this day, because some of these exotic class items are extremely important and IP defining to the game. It really is that way. Prismatic was designed in mind for these exotic class items. So, if we get any abrupt D2 Guardians today messing me about, I've got Tango and Cash behind me. They truly are loyalists. They're King of the North loyalists. You can see that they are. And a finger snap of that would indicate that they're going to chase you. Right? So a click of my fingers, they can come after you. So be careful. Now, before you put me at risk telling you these rules, you need to read this disclaimer on screen. Yeah, you read it, man. I'll wait. Oh, you want me to read it to you? Damn D2 players. You love bedtime stories. You love to be read to. Let's read this disclaimer. The words essential exotic class item roles implies that if a person was to be without this item, they would lose a IP defining way of playing D2 on Prismatic. There are many hidden gems that are available and some subcategories of specific roles. However, a hidden gem is not defined as essential to the average player. Your god roll may not be on this list, and it does not mean that your roll is bad. It's just not essential, or even could be off meta. When we say off meta, we mean you wouldn't use it in day one content or contest style raid stroke dungeons. Are we 100% crystal clear on this? You've got to be. Because I know that I'm going to get comments on this video saying, well, I've got this role, it's served me great for 18 months. I've got this role, I've got that role. Yeah, you have, but it's a subgenre of another role that's probably superior to the role that you've mentioned. So we've got to get this down right and lay the foundation of this video, because if we don't, players will steal the narrative and tell players the wrong roles, and I'm really worried about that. That's why I've never made this video properly until today. I have attempted to make exotic class item role videos in the past, and they're very difficult. They're that difficult that even Dato refused to make an exotic class item video, saying that there's too many roles to cover in a video, and I absolutely agree with him. There is. It's a very difficult topic to talk about, is this. When we look at it across all three characters on a broad perspective, 192 roles to review. This is extremely hard subject, but I've got a formula for the video, or at least I think I have. I'm going to cover in depth essential spirits and essential roles that you want and combos for Warlock Titan, and Hunter in one particular video. This video will be long, and people have complained to me of recent times that my videos are long. They are, but are you seeing how much I'm working moment to moment for you? I'm providing an extreme amount of context for you, and you as D2 players lack context, and I'm here to give you that. I'm here to give you the context. So I hope you understand that this video is going to be longer, but it needs to be, because these exotic class items are very important, and you need to understand what you need for spirits if you are getting those last couple of class items from Ava before Festival of the Lost goes away. So that's my intro section. We're then going to cover it, as I say, timestamp the video for Warlock first, Titan, then Hunter, and then at the end, I may show you the attunement trick that you can do with Xur for class items. Well, you can kind of do it with Eva as well, but I'll show you that at the very end. All right, okay? So that's my intro to this introduction to this video. Okay, so moving swiftly on, here is for the essential roles for Warlock. Before I go into it though, one last note. The exotic spirits for the class items have agnostic traits that roll on all class items for all characters. That being, that you see the image on screen, Spirit of the Assassin, Spirit of the Star Eater, Spirit of the Inmost Light, Spirit of Symphoseps, Spirit of the Ophidian, and Spirit of Verity. Those traits roll on all characters. Funnily enough, nearly all of those traits are extremely good, and most of them are essential. Apart from Spirit of the Ophidian being PvP based, and Spirit of Verity being essential in some cases, in some other cases not. But the Spirit of Symphoseps is essential, Inmost Light, Assassin, and Star Eaters for many reasons. So, I'm on the Pale Heart because it's a good way for me to structure this video, so that we can talk about it. So first, let's cover the essential spirits, right, in no particular order, that the Warlock should have for their class item roles. First, starting with Inmost Light. The reason why Spirit of Inmost Light is essential to prismatic gameplay is because of its ability percentage buff. We are in a ability meta right now, especially Transcendence wise. So being able to enhance Transcendence gameplay and neutral gameplay with your abilities is extremely powerful. Potentially the most powerful spirit that we have in the game. Yeah, it's that good. It really is. In actual fact, Titan, Warlock, or Hunter should have a Spirit of Inmost Light role of some sort. Coming on to combinations in a bit though. The next essential spirit is Spirit of Star Eaters. So if we just try and look for... Honestly, knowing the logos, here we go, Spirit of Star Eaters. The reason why Spirit of Star Eaters is very important on Warlock is because Warlock does not have Star Eater scales, the exotic birds from the Hunter. So it's a very unique situation, and it allows for Warlock to put out Omega DPS with Nova Bomb. Nova Bomb Star Eater scales is a meta-defining damage style of, that you would choose for day one dungeon content and such and things like this. Especially on the solo side of things, having a Star Eater scales Nova Bomb on a dungeon boss, right, is extremely valuable. It's IP defining. Now Apotheosis. Here we go, I got the symbol right this time. So Apotheosis, temporarily you get the increased melee and grenade regeneration after your super ends. You know, you can pair that with Spirit of Star Eaters for an Omega style of way of damaging, right? So Spirit of Apotheosis is a essential spirit, and people should have some sort of role with it on. Now we come on to Spirit of Necrotics. Spirit of Necrotics is, I would regard as an essential spirit because it adds poison. Now, the regular Necrotics does more damage than Necrotic, yes. But you can pair Spirit of Necrotics for damage bonuses like Spirit of Symphoseps. This is extremely potent on Electric Slide Warlock. So, whilst yes, Spirit of Necrotic is weaker than the standard Necrotic, don't let that take away from the quality of how good Spirit of Necrotic actually is. It's an essential spirit that Warlock should have. Coming on the next thing, Spirit of Symphoseps. This improves melee damage. We are in a melee meta right now on Transcendence gameplay. Across all three characters, really. And Adding that, I believe it's 50% damage bonus. It's only melee damage, not super, but that's fine because it's going to do tremendous amounts of damage, stacking with Electric Slide Warlock build. Synthoceps is extremely valuable, and like I say, you can pair that with Immortal Light, but more on pairings in a minute. Next essential spirit is Spirit of the Assassin. So you can go invis on a melee kill, so you could do Assassin Synthoceps, for example. Spirit of Assassin is extremely clutch in day 1 content. If you're running a day 1 dungeon next month, and it's extremely ad dense and you're struggling to stay alive, Spirit of the Assassin is extremely powerful for that. Whilst it's not got as much ability uptime as Immortal Light, sometimes the trade-off is worth it for the invisibility, because invisibility is usually locked to hunters, but obviously, you know, having that hunter trait on a Warlock is extremely powerful, and same on Titan. Those are the essential spirits. Anything else you mention, I mean, Spirit of Verity is kind of essential as well, so we will mention that as a because it gives you that much of a damage bonus. So Spirit of Verity is there as well, but apart from that, those are your essential spirits that Warlocks need. And I've read that disclaimer to you. Essential means if you don't have these defining spirits, then you're missing out. There are other special mentions, right? And I know that there's a couple of spirits that you're going to be disappointed that I haven't mentioned, but we're going to come on to that in a bit. Now I'm going to come on to the most popular pairings of basically for Warlock. You'll see it on screen. These are the most popular class item roles in the Destiny 2 community player base. Number 1 coming in at Spirit of Immortal Light and Spirit of Synthoceps at 11.48%. The most popular combo of all. And the reason being is because it's Electric Slide. Electric Slide, so the damage bonus plus ability buff means you can spam your Transcendence that much more. Coming in second is Spirit of the Necrotic plus Synthoceps. That adds poison with the Synthoceps. That is an extremely powerful role as well. Yeah, it can be substituted for the Synthoceps Immortal Light role. Then we got Spirit of Apotheosis, Spirit of Star Eaters, like I said. This is your Omega Super Damage DPS style build for dungeons and stuff like that, where DPS matters. Next, we've got Spirit of Immortal Light Star Eaters. That isn't as potent as the other 3, but it's got 2 spirits that are doing good things for us. So it's still great because those 2 spirits are good. Whilst that pairing isn't exactly as good as the other 3 pairings. Spirit of the Assassin Synthoceps, like I said, that trade-off can be made where you sacrifice Immortal Light for Assassin, and that's good for day 1 content. He's what I didn't recommend as essential. Spirit of the Necrotic and Spirit of the Claw. This role, whilst is good with Finger Snap, and it is good to have it, it is not an essential class item role. I personally have it and really enjoy it, but we must recognise that this is more of a specialised role, not an essential role, because what does that do that Immortal Light and Synthoceps doesn't? What does Necrotic and Synthoceps... I mean, Necrotic and Synthoceps is better than Claw and Necrotic. Yeah, because Synthoceps is damage bonus. So, what I'm saying to you is, it's a very good role and you keep it, you don't delete it. But damn, it isn't better than some other options. So I'm not considering it as essential, even though it's popular. We've got Spirit of the Necrotic, Spirit of Star Eater. That's a good role, it's okay. Right, it's... 8 out of 10, but again, there's better roles. But if you've got that role, and that's the only role you have of Star Eaters, for example, then you keep it for now. But it is actually good with Song of Flame, now thinking, because you'll add poison with your Song of Flame. So, and you're getting that Star Eater buff. I actually have personally got that role. It's pretty good, actually. It is in the essential spirits, so I am recommending it. And finally, got Spirit of Immortal Light and Spirit of the Swarm. Yeah. It's nowhere near as popular as the rest. So Spirit of the Swarm is going to be a bit better now because of the buffs to the swarms and stuff like that. There's some changes with it, but I'm not in the context of this video. I am not considering Spirit of the Swarm to be an essential spirit, but I do recognise that there's some funky things that you can do with Spirit of the Swarm. But I'm not saying it's an essential spirit, right? So those are the most popular roles. Special mentions. Now, this is a hard pill to swallow for me, and I've had to do it. But Spirit of the Filaments and Spirit of the Starfire is not an essential role. Reason being is because there's other turret builds that can do what that does. This is just a different way of playing. So Spirit of the Filaments gives Devour, which means you can, on Prismatic Warlock, you can give up Devour and run double turret, that being Hellion and Blake Watcher, and you get a lot of grenade energy back. That is a specialist build, and I recommend if you have the role, you keep it, but for the average player, you don't have to essentially definitely need it, because there's lots of turret builds in the game. Getaway Artist, Rhymecoat Rhyman, and stuff like this. I love this build. It's extremely powerful. You get more turrets. You get more turrets on this one, but it's not an essential build. When I really think about it, does a casual player need this role? No. It's more of a specialist build for someone like me who wants to like explore a little bit more with slight nuances and differences to Prismatic Warlock turret gameplay, and that's what this provides. It's a special mention, but I'm sorry, it's not essential. Same for Claw and Necrotic. It's not essential because, well, Symphoseps and Inmost Light does a better job of what that's trying to do. It's nice, yeah, it's good, but it's not essential. It's not. You're not going to lose out if you don't have it. So there you go. And then we got Osmiomancy and Verities. That's a bit of a special mention. I've actually myself not experimented with that role, so I don't know if I can say that it's an essential way of playing. I don't think so. I think it's on the fence, this one. Spirit of Verity, damage buff for grenades, and Spirit of Osmiomancy. I haven't really experimented with that role. I mean, there are 192 roles, so how do you expect me to have experimented with every single role? I don't think it's essential. But if you've got that role, you keep it because they've got synergy. Osmiomancy, Spirit of Verity, there's synergy there. So that is the essential roles and spirits that you need for Warlock. And I believe that I've covered as to the best of my ability that I can do. Other than that, any spirit not mentioned is essentially not better than its exotic variant. For example, Spirit of the Stag does not give Rift ability regeneration. Therefore, the exotic helmet is better than Spirit of the Stag. Same goes for Vespers. Same goes for anything else that I haven't really mentioned. Is not worth mentioning for the video. A lot of good spirits going for the Warlock. It's overall very strong class. It is. But yeah, there you go. That is the essential spirits and combos for Warlock. Okay, so we are now on Titan now to discuss essential spirits and God roll combinations for the exotic class item for Titan mains. So again, we're going to come to the Ghost and we'll discuss it all. So the essential spirits for Titan are as follows: Spirit of Symphoseps, Spirit of Inmost Light, Spirit of Assassin, Spirit of Star Eater Skills, Spirit of the Eternal Warrior, and Spirit of Scars, kind of. Anything else other than what's mentioned is either nuanced or off meta or where you're playing around with the game. Yeah? Now, let's explain why those are essential spirits. So, Spirit of Inmost Light, like I've just said on the Warlock run, the reason being is because we are in a melee ability style meta on Transcendence gameplay still, and being able to enhance prismatic gameplay in such a way to amplify your ability recharge rate is extremely powerful in the game right now, right? You know, that's why people are using this sort of stuff to speedrun harder content. Spirit of Assassin is invaluable for day one content. If you're going into Renegade's day one dungeon next month, in the dungeon extremely hard dense and you can barely survive, well, Spirit of Assassin, sometimes it's worth giving up Inmost Light for a Spirit of Assassin. Star Eater Scales, you want a Star Eater Scales roll on all your classes because it overcharges your super. But the thing about it on a Titan and Warlock, very special, is that they don't have Star Eater Scale boots. So being able to get Spirit of Star Eaters is a unique gameplay aspect for them. We've got Spirit of Eternal Warrior, right? Finding these damn symbols. Which one is it? There it is. This one gives you ×4 weapon surges. Now, Surges on the boots are stacked at ×3. If we can ever get ×4 weapon surge, that's extremely powerful in itself. Whilst it only might be a minor incremental damage bonus, you can start to really do a tremendous amounts of damage, especially if you pair that with Star Eater skills and you're doing Omega damage. It's a DPS style exotic class item. Rarely seen, but it does pop up now and then, and I do personally have this role as well. And I did mention Spirit of Scars as well, which is maybe not essential. I put it in the essential list because I value Spirit of Scars quite a lot. I know that maybe it's not essential. Maybe I'm going to go back on myself and say I'm on the fence with this one. But it gives restoration on weapon kill, and it's potentially better than the Spirit of Scars helmet itself because it does what that helmet does without the revive mechanic, but you don't need the revive mechanic. So in my like, not for solo gameplay. So in my opinion, Spirit of Scars giving restoration on a primary weapon kill or elemental kill that matches your subclass is extremely underutilized in the game. I do really like Spirit of Scars, and it's a better option than some of what I've seen with you Titan mains using. I'm disappointed in a lot of you Titan mains. I'm going to come on to that. Let's get the pairings up now. Let's get pairings up. Let's get that up here. Hang on a minute. So Titan, the most popular combination traits are Spirit of Inmost Light, Spirit of Simseps at 17%. Surprise! That's not a surprise to anybody. I told you this is the most powerful prismatic class item role for Titan because of Consecration Slamming. Spirit of the Assassin, Spirit of Simseps. That's very good as well. Sometimes you want to trade Inmost Light for Assassin, like I've said, 6%. Spirit of the Abiant and Spirit of the Horn at 4.87% rolls. I am very disappointed in you, Blueberry Titans, that you value this exotic combo that much. I mean, it is powerful-ish, but, I mean, I would go as far to say that I think that role combination is more powerful in PvP than it is PvE. I've been melted by people with Spirit of the Abiant in PvP. It's tremendous in PvP from what I've seen. It might just be my weakness, but the reason why people are using it is because you can suspend and send a solar wave out. However, is that more powerful than an Inmost Light and Simseps role? No, it isn't. So I don't deem that role or those two traits to be essential traits. They are off meta. They're good, but they're not going to be used on a day one dungeon, and they're not going to be used on a day one raid or day one dungeon contest style stuff. I wouldn't go into that. I wouldn't go into something and say, I'm going to use this. I would use this for a video and say, look at this role. It's unique, but that's all it is. It's not going to... They have buffed it, but Inmost Light, Simseps, Assassins, and Spirit of Simseps is far more powerful than that particular role. If you have it, keep it, but it's not an essential role for average players. I'm disappointed in Titan mains that you use it that much. Next role, Inmost Light, Spirit of Star Eaters. Both two good traits, and you know, you're getting the ability recharge and you're getting that super damage buff. You need a Star Eater skills of some sort. That might not be the best Star Eater skill role. I think, in my opinion, the better Star Eater skill role would be with Spirit of the Eternal Warrior, right? I think that's a better fit. Then we got Spirit of Inmost Light and plus Spirit of Contact, right? Now that again, Blueberry Titans, I'm very disappointed in yous. I'm actually disappointed most today in the Titans over any other character for prismatic uses. I can't believe it. In actual fact, Hunter's sitting pretty good on prismatic uses. Obviously, that'll be after this bit. Spirit of Contact seems to be very popular with Titans because it adds lightning strikes and they become jolted. So what people are doing is using Consecration Slam to add jolt to it, right? But you don't need to do that. Yeah, I have had this argument of Titan mains before. Oh, if you do that, you can stun overloads. Well, hang on a minute. If we just come to Prismatic, yeah, and read please read Tooltips, Titans. I thought Warlocks were bad. Titans, Electrified Snare. Throw an explosive device energized with strand, matter, and arc energy that detonates in a supercharged suspended burst. The suspended burst target takes heavy damage over time and chains jolting lightning to any nearby targets. You jolt anyways. It's got jolt in its kit. Why do we need to run Spirit of Contact, to add Jolt, when you could add a buff like Spirit of Symphoceps for the damage bonus? You're throwing by running Spirit of Contact. It's off meta. Spirit of Contact is fun. It's off meta though, lads. It's not essential. Yeah, next one, Spirit of Severance, Spirit of Symphoceps, same thing. Yeah, people are trying to buff up the Consecration by having this explosion with Severance plus Spirit of Contact. And that, again, it's no damage bonus though. It's no Symphos. Symphos outclasses both these two. Until Bungie nerfs Spirit of Symphoceps, these two are not outclassing Symphoceps. I don't want Bungie to nerf Symphoceps. I'm just explaining to you that in an endgame decision, Spirit of Symphoceps is more important than these. The Severance and the Contact. Not essential. It's off meta this. That is an off meta traits. And then finally we've got Spirit of the Eternal Warrior, Spirit of Star Eater. That's not as popular as the rest, which I'm surprised. I guess people just haven't got the role, but that role goes hard. I have used it. Spirit of the Eternal Warrior, Spirit of Star Eaters. It's an incredibly powerful role in a different way to how like Inmost Light and Symphoceps is. It's more of a DPS style version of it, right? It is good. So that is that. Now we come to some special mentions. So again, we've had a special mention to Spirit of a Biant Horn. Yeah, we've said that, you know, while it's not terrible, it's good. Yeah, whilst play with the exact role that you have with a Biant, but there's better roles than that. It's a special mention though. Then you've got another special mention here called the Spirit of the Bear and Armentarium. So Spirit of the Armentarium, I don't regard it as an essential spirit, but I do need to test Spirit of the Bear with Unbreakable and Spirit of the Armentarium. I can't say for definite whether this role is good or not, but there's been some changes to Unbreakable, some actually impactful changes, but I wouldn't consider it to be a essential spirit combination, but I would say if you have the role, you try it out, but it's definitely not essential. But I need to do some testing with that role, and I will make a video about it this month at some point with that particular role in mind, but it is off meta. If we're being critical of this video, that kind of stuff is off meta. I mean, anything else that I haven't mentioned is essentially off meta. Obviously, you've got Spirit of Verity, but in my opinion, grenade builds on Titan aren't as strong as what they are maybe on a Hunter with the grapple melee and Warlock on grenade builds. Spirit of Verity is huge. If you've got a role, keep it. I would say maybe it is essential because of the amount of damage bonus that it grants, but you know, Symphos, Inmost Light, and all that stuff are far more important. So Spirit of Verity is a great spirit. It's just that I think that on a Titan, you're better building it into a melee build rather than a grenade build. And that is all of the mentions for Titan. So on the next part, we'll cover the Hunter. Okay, and finally for Hunter mains, Prismatic. Now, having done my research today, which by the way I've done a lot of research for this video, Prismatic Hunter is sitting really pretty. I just thought I would mention, post Edge of Fate, Prismatic Hunter has actually gotten a buff. It's overall better than what it was before Edge of Fate. I know that there was grapple melee changes and stuff, but that's not my point. Overall as a class, it has gotten a lot better than what it was. Yeah, it's not just Prismatic Hunter, there's a lot of different Hunter builds that have gotten better. And having done my research today, it seems as though I've been surprised and humbled, and there's a lot of Hunter mains that know what they're doing with Prismatic Hunter kits, and a lot of variety, and there's a lot of essential spirits on Hunter, and I'm very shocked. The class I was disappointed with today was Titans for sure, rocking Spirit of Contact and stuff like this, messing me about. What he is doing, I don't know, but it seems to be, by the research I've done today on what people are using, it's looking a lot better for Hunters. So I'm pleased for Hunters in actual fact. For what, you know, I meme on Hunters a lot, but you forget I used to play Hunter at D1. I've played Hunter for 10 years. I want the Hunter to be a good class. Anyways, essential spirits. Essential spirits are Spirit of Inmost Light. No shocker. It has been on every single class because of we're in an ability meta at the moment. Being able to amplify Transcendence gameplay with Spirit of Inmost Light is invaluable. Then we've got Spirit of Do you want me to pronounce this? Because I can't do it for you. What's it? What? Cry-ta-acne. 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 This is essentially the best spirit in the game for hunters. It's essential. Then we got Spirit of Liar, which is a essential spirit because it's the counterpunch build, which I don't see as many people using this, but I would say that it is an essential spirit. It's a meta-defining way of playing. Yeah. Then we got Spirit of Caliban. So you got powered melee firebows, trigger and ignition. One of the most popular spirits in the game, in actual fact. And I have used it in the past. It is actually rather good. I would say it's essential. And we got Spirit of Galanor. So which damn symbol is it, man? Spirit of Galanor. Here we go. So Spirit of Galanor, I would put it in the essential category because the super regeneration builds that you can make on Prismatic Hunter that are rather unique. And I wouldn't say that this is a nuanced piece. I would say that no, you should probably have a Spirit of Galanor piece. More on rolls in a bit. Yeah. So I am putting it in the essential category. Then you got Spirit of Simseps. Spirit of Simseps is essential spirit across all three characters because the melee damage buff. We're in a melee damage meta right now. It's so important. Spirit of Assassin. Spirit of Assassin for the day one style content where you maybe do need that invisibility. However, we don't need invisibility as much as we did. But there are times where you would rather run Spirit of Assassin rather than Inmost Light. And I've explained that multiple times at this stage. So there's a trade-off to be made. Do you want ability recharge or do you want that invis? If it's very hard dense and very threatening to you, sometimes you want Assassin instead. And yep, that is, and then Spirit of Star Eaters, that goes without to mention, right? Spirit of Star Eaters is the only way you can overcharge your super in D2. Apart from the super fonts, I mean, I guess you can do that now and run 200 superstar. But imagine 200 superstar with this, with super fonts. Well, you'd rock a 160 superstar with 2 super fonts. But you get what I'm saying. Star Eaters is an essential spirit. Yeah. So now you've had your spirits. Now we come on to popular combos. The most popular exotic class item combinations in the D2 community for hunters, prismatics. Most popular is Spirit of Inmost Light, Spirit of Cry-ta-acne. 13.93% roll. The numbers don't lie, lads. This is the best class item that you can get in the game for hunters. It's better than all the rest of them because of how meta defining it is for hunters, being able to get DR and all that resistance within its kit. Getting Woven Mail on a grenade toss is huge. You can keep spamming. And Inmost Light will allow you to spam that grenade over and over and over. It is wholeheartedly the hunter that I would run on day one content above everything else. Even DPS and super regen exotics, I would use it over all of that because staying alive is the most critical thing that we can do. And it allows for more aggression, more aggressive gameplay. And yeah, I agree with it. We've got Spirit of Caliban, Spirit of the Liar. For good reason, this synergizes. Yeah, so you get that solar, you're going to get an ignition, and you're going to get that powerful arc melee. I think that rolls fire. I think that, yes, you should have it as a hunter main. For sure you should. And then we come to the next, Spirit of Inmost Light Symphos. This is more up my alley, I'll be honest. I'd rather use Inmost Symphos rather than Caliban and Liar. Because it's more generic, it fits more my versatile playstyle of what I would like to do. So I love Inmost Light Symphos. I think it's great. I think it's brilliant. Right? It just works all the time. Now we've got Spirit of Inmost Light, Spirit of the Liar. Right? So that's a different type of combination. Yeah. But they're both two good traits. So it still works at 4% there. Spirit of Inmost Light plus Spirit of Verity. That is the damage style grapple melee setup, right? So I would say that Spirit of Verity is an essential spirit. Did I put that on my list? Damn it, I've missed it off my list, I think. I would say Spirit of Verity is an essential spirit because it synergizes with grapple melee. Now, but what I'll tell you right now, I'm suspicious that that Bungie hits the grapple melee again. They've already hit it once. Yeah, they've already hit it. They'll hit it again. So I wouldn't entirely rely on this playstyle, but I would lock in a role for Spirit of Verity because of how broke it is in the game. But I'm always suspicious when something's overly broke that at some point whether it be 6 months or 3 months, at some time it will just get adjusted with grapple melee where it just doesn't work like how you would want it to work. And I'm very worried about that. So I don't go all in on Spirit of Verity gameplay for this reason. I do think it's overtuned. I think it's broke. And I think, you know, I don't know. I think you should have it. It's essential. But I have some personal issues with it. Let's come to the next one. Spirit of Caliban plus Spirit of Symphoseps. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, melee damage buff plus you're getting this. Maybe better combinations though, but that's still nice. Spirit of Galanor, Spirit of Star Eaters. Right, now I've said that both spirits are essential because, well, Galanor, it's nice to have this super regen playback for certain things. And I think it's an IP defining way of playing, for sure. And pairing that with Star Eater scales makes massive amounts of sense, right? It really does. I believe I do have this role as well in the vault. And finally, Spirit of Inmost Light, Spirit of Star Eaters. Yeah, so that's a bit of a more of a generic role where it's just going to work for you, isn't it? Whilst it won't be as good as other roles like Inmost Light, Symphos, or Inmost Light, you know, other things. But it's still a good role because it's two good traits, just maybe not as much synergy as the rest. Right, special mentions. Although I will say that Fortracer is a essential spirit. The reason being is because it offers a ×4 weapon surge buff. For I believe, is it 11 or 16 seconds? I can't remember how many seconds it is. I haven't got that information at hand. But ×4 surges are very important to the game when you need to squeeze out more damage on day one content. Spirit of Fortracer is extremely a very good spirit. Yeah, it really is. So I think locking in a Spirit of Fortracer role for hunters as well. I mean, Spirit of the Fortracer with Spirit of Star Eater, that's a good role. You could even pair like Spirit of Verity with Spirit of Fortracer as well. So you sort of getting a weapon damage bonus, plus you're getting that grenade grapple melee damage bonus as well. Yeah, so there's all these little things that you can do. I think that is essential. So yeah, there's literally not a lot that's not essential on Hunter. If we just look at this, so that one is Spirit of Ophidian is not essential. It's a PvP. Oh, here we go. Spirit of Dragon is not essential. Again, this is probably something PvP related because I never use that. Yeah, there is some stuff that's actually not useful. Here we go, Spirit Renewal. Spirit Renewal, whilst will be good with the Frost Armor, it's not an essential spirit, and you're not going to lose anything by not having a Spirit Renewal role. I can assume that there's hunters out there that do main this, but I'm telling you, it's not essential. It's not on my essential list, what I'm recommending to people. Right, I've already recommended so much for your hunters. Hunters are doing good with spirits, actually. Yeah, Spirit Star is obviously essential. Symphos Spirit of Verity is. This one is. Spirit of the Grafalcon, I am putting that also into the non-essential list. I think this is good, but I think there's way better prismatic styles of playing on Hunter than this. The Hunter has so many good spirits going for it that I think you're thrown by just using this. Yeah, you could use it with Quieter 1. Yeah, you could use it with Graviton Lance. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's essential. I think a Hunter main without this isn't going to lose anything. I think this is a very fun, unique way of playing, but that's all it really is. It's not an essential spirit, lads. It's not. Right, and then what else we got? Spirit Wermusk, definitely not. It's definitely not a essential spirit. Again, this is probably something PvP based, something that I don't play much in the game, although I do grind trials, don't I, for weapons. And Spirit of the Six Coyote, this is definitely not essential. Yeah, I could see maybe Six of Coyote with Inmost Light. I've heard people using that role. No way, man. There's way better than that. I mean, you're giving up Symphoseps for that. You're giving up Crytachny. Yeah, you're giving up all of these great spirits by running that. You don't need another class ability. Class ability got a buff. Yeah, class abilities on hunters are OP now. So powerful. You just don't need this, man. I don't think you need it. It's non-essential. Whilst I do see some role with it, it's non-essential. So that is all of the hunter roles and the essential spirits covered. Now, finally, for this final thing that I'm going to show you and teach you. I've been using this technique for now 12 months. So the technique isn't 100% guaranteed, and it is not going to work every time for you. So let's give you an example today. Say, for example, I want 4 Trace Severity, right? Say that's the role I want, right? Because I don't think I've actually got a 4 Trace Severity role. How I would go about maybe tipping the odds is by attuning one and the other, like this. Do it a few times, but then decide which one you actually really do want. In this case, maybe I want a 4 Tracer roll of some kind, because say if it doesn't drop with Verity, well then it might drop with another trait that's, you know, still decent. So that's what you do. You go back and forth, and then what you do, you need to do this quickly. I wouldn't mess around. And you go to the tower and you go and see Zer and Ava. Yeah, you go and see Zer and Ava and you roll the dice. It is RNG, random number generator. There's no guarantee on it. However, over the last 12 months of me using this attunement trick, I can say to you that more often than not, within at least 3-4 rolls of the dice, I end up getting the actual roll I wanted. Whether there's some background tech to this, there could be. We have had this in the past with Destiny stuff where we used to do this with Ghost. If you remember in Vault of Glass, there was a way for attuning for armor stat distributions by doing this exact same technique on your Ghost or whatever it was. This was a while ago. Does anyone remember that? I got taught that technique off somebody. But what I'm explaining to you is, I believe there is a bit of tech behind this where the game's getting confused and ends up attuning both items. Now, to unlock attunement, you need to have done Dual Destiny, which is a exotic mission on the Pale Heart. So if you haven't done that, you haven't got attunement unlocked. So you are just rolling the dice at that point. And I'm aware that there's a lot of people not done Dual Destiny, and I go back to my initial suggestion at the start of the video, we should be just crafting exotic class items at this point, and maybe bring out a new exotic mission for them of some kind, where you do them and you unlock the craftable version of it, or tie them to some sort of, I don't know, conquests in the future. Imagine you have to do a conquest in the future and it unlocks the craftable pattern of the exotic class item, making them craftable. Imagine the game chase for that. Or imagine a Conquest Avalon where if you do it, you get a craftable class item at the glyph. It would alleviate vault space, right? It would alleviate vault space. We've discussed how bad this is for vault space. There are 192 class items. Do you think anybody's in the right mind has them all? There probably is somebody out there that has them all. Yeah, there probably is, but the numbers of that are going to be extremely low. Crafting them would make a huge... I'm not saying we should enhance the spirits. It should just be that we can delete a class item to get it back, because these are meta IP defining items, and without having them for months is a detriment to your gameplay, and it could be months without that class item. Don't you understand how imperative this subject is? I'm not just saying it because I want the game to be easier for me. It'd be easier for you. I think you need more of a help than me, so I'm trying to help out the masses. I'm thinking about everybody. I'm thinking about big picture, not small picture. Think about the small picture, you'll get nowhere. If you cater to just a select few amount of people, you'll get nowhere. We need to cater to the wide audience and think about everything. But there is a way to cater to the wider audience and the hardcore fan base, because they've done it in the past. They've done it in the past, Bungie has, and they can do that again. So don't tell me that you can't cater to hardcore and the wider audience, because right now they're not doing a good job of that. In actual fact, they've catered to hardcore players like me. The Bungie has actually catered, between Edge of Fate to now, they've kind of catered to us. They've kind of catered to the real loyalists. Yeah, but look where that's got us. But they can still cater to us. They need to make the right decisions, and we need to get new players through the door, lest by 2026 we are over. We'll have to hang our boots up, and it really will happen like that. And whilst you like to meme about this a lot, when it happens, you will be saddened by it, 100%. So try not to meme about this subject too much, because if D2 goes down, the entire infrastructure with D2 will go along with it. All your Twitch streamers will go, your YouTubers will go, your expert solo players will be gone and lost to the architects. Do you really wish the D2 infrastructure to die? Because when you're memeing on it and saying that you want the world to burn, you are also wishing for the entire infrastructure that I am part of to also die along with it. And I don't think that's good sportsmanship. And I'm asking for people to gather yourself some good sportsmanship and to say, well, hang on a minute, no, we don't want it to pass. because there's nothing else on the market like this game. We don't want it to pass. We want the damn game to be good. I think everybody wants the one single goal, the game to be good. However, being good means different to different people, but we can cater to more than just the hardcore player base. They've done it in the past. It isn't that complicated as far as I see it, but I'm not the one in the driving seat making the stat numbers and in Seattle, Bungie, making the decisions, am I? I'm just explaining to you that, as far as I can see it, I think a lot of the issues that we have are a simple fix. Because the sandbox right now is omega good. The way the game plays is actually very good on ability and weapon usage. It's just that we're lack of content. Alright, so that's the video on this exotic class item essential roles. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you.